Hello, welcome back to our Northcoders Graduate Showcase. Here we have team NC Hammer with their app Memory Box. Please take it away.
We are NC Hammer and I'm proud to present our new app Memory Box. We hope that you love it as much as we loved making it. Can I have the next slide, please? So there are 4 of us in the team, myself, Maddie, Cameron and Ed, who you'll meet shortly, and we've had a lot of fun coding together on this project. Can I have the next slide, please? Great, thank you. So a lot of people want to journal and document their lives, but often find that they don't know what they want to write about or constantly write about the same things with no variety. I know that I personally carry my journal up and down the stairs every day intending to write in it, but sometimes I misplace my pen or I feel uninspired and I don't know what to write about. So a journal can quickly become a negative space that we don't want to revisit rather than a space to document thoughts and memories. Memory Box is a journaling app which prompts the user with a different question every day. We thought carefully about our design and gave it a calming aesthetic with handwriting style fonts so that it could replicate the feel of using a handwritten journal. The aim of the app is to help people to reflect on the small, easily overlooked parts of daily life. We wanted the app to help people to look inward and to be more mindful, which ties in with our values about promoting mental well-being and being more present. Memory Box was designed with a wide audience in mind. We think that anyone who wants to get in touch with themselves a little, be a bit more present, more mindful, and basically anyone who likes a BuzzFeed quiz will love our app. I'll now hand over to Cameron, who will demonstrate how the app works. Over to you.
Thanks, Christina. If we could have the video, please, I'll talk us through a bit of the app. We're creating a unique account via Firebase authentication here. And then we're going to go through to the profile page, which is a redirect, and I can add some details to personalize my app here. And then I'll probably want to go over to the home page where I'll find the main elements of the app. So this app's written in Svelte, and there are a couple of different components rendered on here, which I'll talk through as we go on. First, I'm presented with today's question, which is generated from a list based on the current day of the month. I can fill in my answer here, press submit, and then it'll go into my memory box. But really, it goes in a document in our Firestore database, but we'll just keep that between you and us. And then the question is replaced with a component that shows me my answer, and the calendar below lights up with an entry for the day. And that is pretty much the core journey of the app. But say that I keep using the app fairly consistently over the next month, we can see what that might look like. So going back to the home page, now we can see really there's quite a bit more going on. So I can click on any of these calendar entries here and be shown the memory for that day, unless the memory has been chosen to be forgotten, like this one here. So this forget feature is for maybe particularly sensitive memories that I might want to write about and get out there, but maybe not have shown back to me in the future. I can toggle this setting when writing today's answer, or I can update it later on. And we really wanted to include this feature right from the start for sort of the mental health perspective. Below the calendar, I'm also shown some highlights from previous days and months. These are all generated randomly, but again, I'll never be shown memories here that I've chosen to forget. And then if I want to manage all my memories I've written, I can go to the memory settings page where I can view a list of all of my memories sorted by date, toggle the forget function, and if there's a particularly embarrassing one, just get rid of the whole thing. And that's pretty much the functionality of the app. So a digital journal experience that gets better the longer I use it. And now I'd like to hand over to Maddie to discuss the tech that powers the app. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. There we go. So thank you to Cameron. As Cameron said, I'm Maddie, and I'm going to give an overview of our tech choices. Our tech stack changed during the course of development as we worked through some of the challenges, which Ed will discuss with you shortly. We originally planned to use Svelte Native with NativeScript to develop a native Android app, but we ultimately realized that the user experience we wanted for our app required custom styling to achieve that diary feel, and the native features and components currently available would limit our design scope. We decided to build a mobile web app using the front-end framework Svelte. Svelte compiles your code down into HTML, JavaScript, and CSS to interact directly with the DOM, compared to the virtual DOM that React uses. SvelteKit is an application framework for Svelte, which is currently in public beta, but after spiking, we found that the routing features it provides are especially useful, so we chose to use it for Memory Box. We decided to build our web app first and to use porting options further down the line to retain the routing benefits provided by SvelteKit and the speed and reactivity that Svelte provides. An option we consider to do this is capacitor for Svelte. Users log into our app using Firebase authentication, which provides useful objects and functions to manage user state throughout the app. We also used Firebase's Firestore for our database and explored the option of hosting with Firebase further down the line. We considered building a SQL backend, but found that a flat-based database was sufficiently scalable for the future of our app, and the document-style storage provided a flexible data model for storing our users' answers and questions. And we plan to add the ability for users to add their own sets of questions in the future. Both the front and back end of our app use JavaScript, and we use TypeScript to strongly type key files to ensure data quality in our app, and found that TypeScript's error messages proved useful when debugging. We handle calls to our Firestore database in our Svelte app, making use of Svelte's onMount and await methods and reactive variables to manage fetching, updating, and seeding our database, using functions from Firestore to make the requests. Our app was fully custom styled with vanilla CSS, which worked well with Svelte as it has a useful binding feature, which limits the scope of CSS defined within a file's style tag to that file specifically, preventing class naming conflicts. Aside from the vanilla JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and SQL, all of the other technologies we used and explored were brand new technologies for us, which we didn't have a chance to work with during the course. So we're really pleased with how much we were able to accomplish in just 2 weeks. Now Ed will take you through some of the challenges we faced, as well as some of the highlights and the future of MemoryBox.
Thank you very much, Maddie. As Maddie mentioned, I'm going to be talking about some of the challenges we face, but also how we went about solving them. So first of all, as Svelte is a fairly new framework, there aren't many libraries and pre-built components for it yet. As such, that meant that we were to build a lot of our own components, which ended up being a bit of a blessing in disguise, really, because gave us a lot more flexibility with functionality and styling. Another challenge we faced was obviously a given, because getting to know two new technologies in Svelte and Firebase meant that was a challenge, but not only a challenge learning them, but also getting them to work together. And it did lead to the odd Svelte down. The way we solved that was through a lot of Googling, a lot of perseverance, and some mob debugging. Some of the work practices that we used to help us were Husky and ESLint, and we used these to control our code and help reduce merging errors when pushing and branching our code to GitHub, as we often found ourselves pair programming. Some other practices we included were Pomodoro timers, daily stand-ups, and agile style development. We also kept track of tickets and assigned little tasks and other things via a Kanban board on Trello. Next slide, please. So some things we'd like to add in the future. Obviously, I think our app has a good amount of mental health spin on it. So in the future, we'd love to work with some mental health charities to implement some sort of metrics system that is based on the person's well-being, on how they answer particular questions. This could be done with either a mood button where you just press how you're feeling for the day, or with another technology such as Python to help pass particular answers and data and relate that to particular emotions. Another feature that we'd like to add would be custom memories. So memories with images, geotags, and a world map to see and revisit all the places that you've been. And finally, we always had improving accessibility in mind. So we'd love to do that by means of different themes, fonts, and responsive designs, and also eventually developing a desktop app. Next slide, please. So that was MemoryBox. Thank you for listening, and we're now happy to answer any questions.